Pete Seeger, known for his major contributions to the folk music scene in the United States during the Cold War era, was also a social activist who directly protested through his music against the government. In the mid-1950s, his conflict with government agencies and an ensuing compromise shaped his career and legacy in U.S. history.
Bring 'em home, bring 'em home. It'll make our generals sad, I know. Bring 'em home, bring 'em home.
Pete Seeger, who was a member of the Communist Party USA, decided to leave the party after reports about Stalin's regime surfaced in Eastern Europe. However, Seeger continued to sympathize with the concept of communism and spoke up for civil rights, racial equality, and anti-militarism. In 1955, President Eisenhower began supporting the Republic of Vietnam government in Saigon by sending military resources and advisors to Vietnam with the intention of preventing the spread of communism. Pete Seeger made his dislike for this decision clear in many public occasions. However, his growing influence caught the attention of the House Un-American Activities Committee, a branch of the U.S. House of Representatives. The House Un-American Activities Committee, or HUAC, was established in 1938 to investigate any private citizens or public organizations of alleged anti-American in the Cold War, mostly communist activities. In early 1950s, the HUAC launched investigations against communist activities within the entertainment industry. Many prominent figures, such as the famed Hollywood 10 and Arthur Miller, were implicated in the investigations for allegedly inserting communist propaganda materials into their productions, and they were eventually blacklisted in the United States. Such investigations eventually reached Pete Seeger, whom in 1955 was subpoenaed by HUAC about his involvements in communism activities in New York. The FBI headed the investigation in New York towards communist activities. In multiple reports by confidential informants, Pete Seeger was hired by May Miller, the New York City organizational secretary of the Communist Party, to perform for party events ranging from closed-door leader meetings to public gatherings around the city. These reports gained the attention of FBI and quickly the HUAC, which subpoenaed Seeger in front of a subcommittee with the goal of gathering more information about the Communist Party's structure and branches in New York. On August 18, 1955, Pete Seeger was questioned in front of a committee led by Chairman Francis E. Walter and head interviewer Frank S. Tavener Jr., the chief counsel to the HUAC. However, Seeger had little to no respect for the HUAC. In fact, he hated the HUAC so much that he publicly declared the committee members American fascists in multiple occasions.
When the House Un-American Activities Committee wanted to know if you had political connections, you didn't want to answer, and that got you into some serious trouble.
This is because this group of people are actually, they're a group, in my opinion, a group of American fascists. Their idea of America is America where everybody agrees with them. Shira of Ohio was a supporter of the John Birch Society. Willis of Louisiana is a small town. Mr. Big, he married the daughter of the local sugar mill owner. And his idea of America is that small town where everybody knows their place and he's on top.
During the hearing, according to released congressional records, Seeger was open to discuss his profession as a singer-songwriter. However, as soon as Mr. Tavener directed him to answer questions regarding the Communist Party, Seeger showed a strong defensive attitude towards most, if not all, questions. Echoing his opinions towards the HUAC, he famously stated, "I am not going to answer any questions as to my associations, my philosophical beliefs, or my political beliefs, or how I voted in any election or any of these private affairs? I think these are very improper questions for any Americans to be asked, especially under such compulsion as this. Insulted and angered by Seeger's stance, HUAC committee members forced Seeger to directly answer his questions, but Seeger continued stating, "The answer is the same, sir." When asked why he would not give a direct answer, he pleaded only the First Amendment instead of the Fifth Amendment, which stated that his testimony could be self-incriminating and therefore would excuse his refusal to answer. Seeger later explained that he did not use the Fifth Amendment because he wasn't concerned about incriminating himself. Instead, he felt the questions on their own were illegal.
Everybody's heard about taking the Fifth Amendment. You took the First.
I didn't actually take any. Later on, my lawyer said the only defense he could make of me was on the basis of the First.
Which guarantees
That's the one guaranteeing freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, and religion. The Fifth Amendment, in effect, is saying you have no right to ask me this question. But I wanted to say you have no right to ask any American citizen this question.
The committee did not agree with Seeger's view as they considered his plea to the First Amendment unconvincing. As Seeger's biographer, Alec Wilkinson recorded in his book, The Protest Singer, an intimate portrait of Pete Seeger, Seeger left the hearing knowing he would be indicted with contempt of Congress. Indeed, on March 26, 1957, Seeger was convicted by a federal grand jury and sent to 1 year imprisonment. In another Seeger biography by David K. Dunaway, he recorded that upon hearing about the conviction, Seeger simply stated calmly, "I still feel I committed no wrong, and that my children will not feel ashamed of me in future years." Seeger did not agree with HUAC's decision of imprisonment and travel ban from outside southern New York. Aside from legal appeals, in a letter to John F. Kennedy in 1961, Seeger appealed to being President Kennedy's classmate at Harvard. He emphasized the illegitimacy of the investigation and the demand for speech freedom. He wrote, "I feel it is a very fundamental one which concerns all America these days. Do I, or does any other citizens, have the right to hold unorthodox opinions, whether they be purely right or horribly wrong? And do I have the right to join with others who think similarly, without being blacklisted or prosecuted as a subversive?" After hearing about Pete Seeger's conundrum, the public came in support of Pete Seeger. Arlo Guthrie, son of Seeger's mentor Woody Guthrie, social activist Daniel Berrigan, Marcia B. Swift, and even the Eureka Youth League of Australia all wrote to President Kennedy and the White House, which are just a few examples of people showing their anger for Seeger's conviction. With the scale of public outrage and Seeger's appeals about the conviction, the United States Court of Appeals Second Circuit in New York reviewed the indictment on April 9 to May 19, 1962. The court concluded that HUAC's accusation of contempt of Congress was flawed and lacked the necessary evidence of conviction. On May 19th, the court announced that Seeger was found not guilty, a decision of compromise that finally cleared Pete Seeger's name. Seeger went on to perform in many events and slowly worked his way back into television appearances in America, including the famed Statler Brothers show on CBS. He continued his protest as Vietnam War continued. The HUAC, however, was eventually disbanded by the Congress in 1975, marking the end to a legal conflict and compromise that solidified Pete Seeger's influential legacy in United States history.
And the most important verse was the one they made up in Montgomery, Alabama. Said, "We are not afraid."